Good afternoon, everybody. Back at it with player interviews after a long 6-month break. We're winding down in soccer season and figure, postseason is here, and very excited to have Hailey Brennan from St. John Vianney, who is making the Shore Conference semifinals. Hailey, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
First, let's just start. We'll go, talk about you growing up, playing soccer. But first, how does it feel? St. John Vianney graduated a lot of kids last year, pretty much under the radar. And now you guys are in the Shore Conference semifinals, which, that's a big feat with the amount of talent in the Shore.
Yeah, I think, going in, we weren't on many top lists for anything, but I think really our games recently have really been proving people wrong and showing what we can do. Just to be in the semifinals, it's something that we haven't done in many years, and we're very excited to play.
Yeah, like I said, graduated a lot of kids. Kelsey, it's always tough to replace a goalkeeper, no matter how small or big the school is. And Katie, right? Katie, she fill in the shoes perfectly. She was one of my, goalie of the week one week, and that's big. And your team plays very tough defense, and pick your spots. So congratulations, and Freehold is going to be, probably wish you were on the other side of the bracket, but either way, it's what an accomplishment. How many kids? 11 kids graduated, I think.
We actually had 13 seniors.
13 seniors. So, not many teams could say they graduate that many seniors, and, majority of them started on the field last year. So, let's talk about you. How old were you when you first started playing soccer?
I started playing rec soccer when I was 4, and then in 3rd grade, I was 8. I started playing travel soccer.
It's about this timeline, most kids do, start around 4, and then we get to the more serious stuff. Do you remember your first coach?
I don't really recall my rec coaches, but my first travel coach was Trish Buto, and I played with her for Hazlitt United for 2 years. It was really great group. It was a mixture of Hazlitt and Mattawan girls. It was everyone's first year playing travel as a new team. So it was really great to experience that together.
What, first coach, what did she bring out of you, or what did you learn from your very first coach?
Well, I think it was really cool because when I joined the team, I was actually a goalie. And
Oh, wow.
crazy, I know. But she taught me foot skills, and I became a field player, which is really cool.
What other positions did you play? Were you just a goalie when you started, or did you?
Well, when I started travel, I was outside mid, but when my second travel team is when I really became a defensive player. I played center back, outside mid, and a little bit of center defensive mid as well.
Okay. What's your favorite position?
Definitely probably outside back, because growing up being a little bit of that outside mid, I like being able to get up into the attack.
Yeah.
So defending as well.
Yeah, that's so much more valuable these days than when I used to coach a long, long time ago. Bringing those outside backs up, and support. And a lot of teams, you could see the difference when you have a good player that could do that and able to recover, how much it helps their offense, in the long run. Did you play any other sports growing up?
In middle school, I tried out basketball. I did it just with a couple soccer friends for fun. We played rec together. And then that was really it, that and soccer. And then my freshman year, I obviously did soccer, and then I also did winter and spring track. I ran the 800 and 1600. And then last year I did soccer, winter track, and then I actually tried out lacrosse. It was a fun experience. A lot of the soccer girls did it, and it was definitely great. Just cross training, I played mid and attack, and it was a lot of fun. I'll definitely do it again this year.
Yeah, you see, lacrosse did not exist when I was in high school as a high school sport. I think it was a few years after I graduated, and it's becoming big. You can see it's becoming bigger. I know Rumson always has the powerhouse lacrosse teams, but you are seeing more and more soccer players, make that like their fallback, secondary sport, even over basketball. So that's good, and it's good, especially when you got your soccer teammates out there, the bond and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I have one older sister, Casey. She's 19. She actually went to our town school, Raritan High School, and she played varsity basketball and field hockey.
How, growing up, were you two very competitive with each other?
She played rec soccer a little bit as a kid, so she's really what made me like want to start playing to like
Uh-huh.
better than her. And then in middle school, she was actually my basketball coach, which was really fun because
Oh wow, yeah, I guess that probably is fun.
Mhm.
Um, Now we're going to talk a little more about club soccer. Who's your current club team?
So last season I played for 2005 Match Fit Shore under
Mhm.
Lions. Um, I had joined the 2005 team because at the time they didn't have a Shore 2016. And Mike was thoughtful enough to invite me to come onto his team. And I liked playing for him a lot. But unfortunately, um, at the end of the last season, they decided to go 2005, 2004. So as a 2006, I decided it would be best for my development and recruiting process to stay on my own age level. So next season, I'll be playing for 2006 Wall Elite at Mexico under Jonathan Schmidt. And
Oh, I hear great things about Jonathan.
he's a really great coach. And I was lucky enough, he allowed me to play in a summer tournament with them to get to know the girls. And I did a summer training program with them and really great group of girls, really good, very competitive team.
Yeah, Wall, since I was a coach, Wall has always had a good program, especially on the girls' side. They do it right, and they don't really lose their kids to these academies until later on in the process. And he always, he's a name I don't know him, but he's a name that I always hear in Wall that you want to play for him. So that's good. Um, so let me ask this. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. What coach had like the biggest impact, on you think, as a soccer player?
Mm. So after my first child team with Coach Trish, the youth soccer made the whole new rule that it wasn't going to be 2005 06 anymore. It
Yeah.
was one thing. So I tried out for a couple teams and I ended up going to the Hazlitt 2006 team, which was coached by Coach Salagori. And he was definitely he influenced me the most. Um, I wasn't the best when I joined that team, and he really saw the potential in me and he believed in me. And really, he was the one who developed all of my fundamental skills and confidence on the field. And it was a great team in general. Really, just a family. He treated all of us like his own daughter, and the way that we would run through a brick wall for him, he would any day run through one for us. And it's really great. I'm still in contact with him today, and he really just cares about all his players. And if he was still a coach today, I would definitely still be playing for him.
Now, just how big is that? You said you knew you weren't one of the best, but he believed in you and saw your potential. How big is that? As a young kid playing soccer, just as like a motivated factor. Hey, he sees something in me to make you work harder.
I mean, really, it made me feel special in a way because when I was joining his team, that's when I was sort of transitioning from being an inexperienced goalie to a field player. And he saw that I had the determination to play, and he did anything on and off the field to help me get to be the player I am today.
We'll talk about St. John Vianney. What was one of their, choosing a private school over a public school? What was like one of the reasons? I asked basketball players this, just you would have went to Raritan, I'm guessing. Raritan. Okay. Well,
Well, I really want to play college soccer. And
mhm,
I knew that St. John Vianney had a very strong, not only academic side, but also
yeah.
a soccer team. That I think that the St. John Vianney would benefit me a lot more than Meriden High School. My sister went there, and I think academically, I wanted to be a little bit more challenged.
I went to a private school too. Was Coach Meehan the coach your freshman year?
So
Right?
he trained us that summer. He was the
Okay, and then yes, that was the COVID year.
yes, first
Yeah,
year.
yes, because I think I interviewed him before the season started when I was doing the coaches previews, and then he texted me like 3 days later saying he wasn't going to be the coach, because I think he got a teaching job too far away that he wasn't gonna be able to make it for practices and stuff. So um he was a good, he fought for his players. Like if I didn't give a shout out, my phone, I got a text from him, and which is good. You want to coach because I email coaches, all the time, for players, and some respond, some don't, and I don't, and I talk to other coaches about this. Why do some respond and some, even if I pick a player, I'll email the coach and I won't hear anything back. I'll be like, hey, I picked your player and nothing back. But, and then there's other coaches like Coach Mahan that, if say you won a weekly award, he makes sure that it gets out there so everybody can see. Um, and Coach Kirby, she always responds to my text messages when I shoot her a text, which is good, and makes you feel good as a player knowing that you got a coach there, willing to support and and get you recognized for a job well done. Your freshman year, it could be nervous going into school and then a soccer program that's pretty good. Any players, any upperclassmen that helped you, to ease your nerves a little bit?
Yeah, so when I was a freshman, she was a junior, Abigail Junta.
Great player.
Yeah, she currently plays at Gettysburg. I would love to go see a game. Going into SJV, I was coming from public middle school. I really didn't know anyone, but I had met with Abby a few times that summer, actually, before I came in. We had played for the same club, which was NJX, before it transferred to Matchfit.
Uh-huh.
And she really helped me feel welcome, and she's just an inspiration. When I was a sophomore, she was the senior captain varsity, and just every single time she stepped on the field, she was there to play, and she would do anything for anybody else, and it was really inspiring to me.
That year you played RBC in the pods or whatever they called it that year. How did it feel? That was for the finals, right? I think that was for the finals. How did it feel? Making it to the finals, and RBC. They were a strong team that year. Very strong team. How did excitement? Because everybody knows St. John Vianney basketball, but over the last few years, the soccer programs been making more and more of a name for itself.
I mean, my freshman and sophomore year, the final both years was against RBC. And I think they're really our rivals because of that reason.
Mm.
Just a very strong, competitive team, great group of girls over there. And I think that, my sophomore year, we had played them earlier in the season. We had come out on the winning side in overtime, actually a sellout play.
Oh, yeah.
Abigail Junta, but playing them that state final, their home field, we came out strong, but unfortunately a few calls,
These great refs that we have.
yeah. Unfortunately we came out on the negative side of that, but I mean, they deserved it. They worked hard, but we played, And I think, it'd be really, really fun to be able to play them again this year.
Yeah.
So
That was good. That was going to be my next question. Do you hope to get the rematch with them for this year?
I think we definitely owe them a good fight. I think it would be really good to play them. They're kind of our rivals, even though we don't play them in the regular season. I think, we both have very strong teams defensively and offensively, and I think it would be a really good matchup, very even.
Now let's talk. So you just beat Manasquan and you played Trinity Hall. Did you play Trinity Hall during the regular season? Or was that the first time you played them this season?
We played them my sophomore year.
Okay.
Not the regular season.
I think because Trinity Hall just changed divisions. That's why I get confused who they're playing. So let's just talk, I, I had a feeling, it was going to be first goal wins that game, just because I know Trinity Hall has a very strong defense. Your team has a very strong defense. Very good goalie. You have, I know their starting goalie's out, but I hear their backup is doing remarkable things. Just talk that game, and what were you thinking after it's regulation and now the pressure's really on, because obviously you can't give up a goal because then it's just they're over. So just your mindset, just thinking defensively first once the regulation ended and you were getting ready to go into overtime.
I mean, through regulation, we know like they were a very high pressuring team. They had a great offense. It was a very defensively played game. We didn't get too many opportunities, really either side, to get shots off. After regulation, we had, a 10-minute period of overtime and said, all right, this is it. And, both teams came out super strong. Our goalie, actually, Katie Webb, absolutely sellout play, great save in the first overtime to keep us alive. And just when that first overtime period ended, we were like, okay, our goalie just made this amazing play for us. Now we have to score for her. And, time was ticking down. There was a little bit over a minute left, and junior Isabella Merrifield had shot the ball. Trinity goalie, great save to swat it out. We got a corner kick, and, at this point, there was really nothing to lose. Just our assistant coach Klatt was basically like, okay, get in the box. So me and another defender, we got in the box. Senior captain Kate O'Grady played a beautiful ball in, landed right by the 6. Got bounced around a little bit, and somehow I got on it, and just scoring that goal, it was like an amazing feeling. It was really
Yeah, I mean, just talk about that. You play defense. You don't get the opportunity as much to score, and then one of the biggest goals for St. John Vianney to get you to the quarterfinals. How did that feel?
I mean, it was like, I was like, wait, that was like, it was crazy. And not even just like the fact that I scored, like, it just felt great because it was such a team effort. Like, everyone was like, we did it. Like, it was a great feeling across the board.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I saw you this season, it was the Pingree, that event. So obviously I was bouncing around, but Pingree's always a strong, like top 10 in state almost every year. And, you were getting the better at them, and then, I saw you guys tied it. You were down 2-1, tied it. And then they got, I couldn't see, I was all the way in the middle. So I didn't, of the two fields. So I didn't see how they scored, but it didn't, it wasn't nothing, special. It looked like, um, they got lucky with a goal. And you guys came right back. You were dominating, and when it was 2-2, you guys had a chance to take the lead, and it just a couple inches wide. Just talk about, and you brought up the goalie making the save, Katie making that save in that first overtime, and and how that gave you guys an extra pep in the step. Just talk about how something like that could change the outcome, and like just missing, in general soccer, just missing a shot by 2 inches, and just how a game could change just like that.
I mean, like, in that game specifically, I think really both sides were playing so hard, and when we tied it 2-2, like, the energy was at an all-time high. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of miscommunication, which caused the third goal. And even when they scored that third goal, we were getting chances. We were right there. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish. And, they ended up scoring another goal because we were just like, again, there's nothing to lose. We were trying to get players forward.
Yeah.
But they kept attacking. So,
Yeah, there's plenty of times where a team might end up winning by 2 or 3, but that doesn't tell the story of the game at all. And I agree that for that game, that doesn't tell the story of how good your team actually was that day. And playing teams like Pingree, you're seeing the results now in the postseason. You play tough teams like that, you might not get the result in the regular season, but just like basketball, the hardest schedule you play in the regular season rewards you, in the postseason. So, congrats and making it to the semis. Did I have anything else for this season? No, I think that's it. You up for some rapid fire questions here?
sure.
Okay. What's your favorite TV show?
I don't really watch that much TV, but I do like watching The Amazing Race.
Okay, that counts. How about a movie? Do you have a favorite movie? It could be even when you were younger.
I used to like the Disney movies when I was younger, but again, I don't watch that many movies.
I'm a Lion King guy. Um, what do you enjoy to do when you're not playing soccer?
Other than like hanging out with my friends, I actually like really enjoy volunteering. Last year, when I was playing for Mike Lyons over at Matchfit Shore, he had asked for a volunteer to help him train a U8 boys team in Homedale. And he asked me if I wanted to help. And I thought it was a really great experience to be on the other side of the game, really, and just help them like learn like skills that you would say are so basic, like they're just learning them. That's really cool. And then going off of that, St. John Vianney holds summer program, Monmouth County Park System for like youth soccer. It's a camp over the summer, and a lot of the players go and help the assistant coaches at that. And I like doing that. I like coaching.
Do you see coaching in the future, maybe, or training? After college, or even while you're in college, train the little
I
kids.
would definitely, yeah.
That's good.
I like that.
All right, I got a few more. Favorite school subject?
I've always been good at English. I like
English. High school, I hated English. I was a math person, and then I went to school for journalism. Favorite color?
pink
Favorite number?
2 or 8.
Okay. Last one. Favorite food? That was the last one.
Probably chicken parm.
Get that a lot. So I do a podcast basketball season. He couldn't do it. He was too busy for soccer season, the guy I do it with. His question always to the athlete, you getting ready for a game, what song are you listening to get you pumped up?
Well, for soccer season, we have for our home games sometimes we have an announcer, Mr. Halsey, and he always plays like silly songs just to like calm the nerves, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah, he does a good job. All right, we'll talk about your future real quick. What type of colleges are you looking at? Like, is there a particular area, like in the, do you want to go far away, close, East Coast, Midwest, North, South, and does size matter, like that type of stuff?
I'm pretty much open to anything within like a maybe like 6 to 8 hour driving range. Over the summer, I really started to put a lot of thought and time into looking at schools.
Mm-hmm.
In June, I went to an ID camp at Bentley University in Massachusetts, and it was a multiple coach ID camp. So I got to perform in front of about like 20 coaches, which was really good, getting to meet with the players and talking to the coaches one-on-one. It was very nice. And then after the camp, I was able to view a few more schools in the area, Endicott, Brandeis, And then actually straight from that camp, the next day, I went to Saratoga, New York to go to a Skidmore ID camp. And I really loved the coaching staff, the players, the campus. I'm definitely interested in a smaller school. So that was nice. And then it's been nice to stay in contact with them. And then I just a few weeks ago to another one, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, ID camps, I didn't know what they were a couple of years ago because they didn't exist when I was growing up, but how important they are, and not just for soccer, you hear about it for basketball too. And I hear how good it, because, especially when you go to a particular school's ID camp, you get to meet the players to see how well, you can mesh and if you really like the campus and stuff, because it's an important decision, and not just sports related. It's just that you're going to be living there basically for the next 4 years, depending on your major, maybe longer. And, you got to make sure you're happy where you're at, and even just take the sports out of it. Do you know what you want to study in college?
I'm a little bit undecided right now, but I'm mostly between either early education or business. On the business side, I'm pretty interested in the marketing and advertising side. I hope to take a class on that my senior year. Then I've also always been interested in being a teacher, kind of like same aspect as being a coach. I like.
Yeah. So that answers the next question, what you want to do after. What advice would you give your younger self?
If I take the soccer route on this one, I would say when I was younger, I focused a lot on my like speed and agility, and that's definitely formed me to who I am today. But if I was to be able to work on something a little more, I would say just like footwork in general. You see the technical work of some players, it's amazing to watch. And I really recently, in a few years, I've started to focus on that a lot more. And I've definitely improved, but I think if I could have started younger, I mean, that'd be even better.
One more question. I meant to ask this during the high school. Next year, you're going to be a senior, one of the senior leaders. What are you hoping to pass down to the underclassmen, at St. John Vianney? Any traditions or something that you want to pass down to the underclassmen?
I think this is kind of in general for all high school teams, but I think like over the summer, like that team bonding is so important. When you come out, not even the first division game, but like that first scrimmage, that is speaking to so many people about what kind of team you're going to be that year. And I think if you don't get along off the field, it's pretty hard to get along on.
Don't I know that going to all these games, you could see the difference between teams that get along and teams that don't get along. So, and that's key, chemistry. You know, chemistry can make an average team really good, and it can make a bad chemistry can make a good team bad. So, I've seen it this season. So, and, St. John, just like all the sports programs and probably, tight knit school, you can see the chemistry on the fields and the communication out there, which is key. So, and that's good. Make sure, and that's how programs get built. It starts with the leadership and then passed down to the younger kids, and then they become the leaders, and then you have a program that's up top in the top 10 every year. So, all right, Hailey, thank you for taking time out today, and good luck going up against, unfortunately, the best team in New Jersey. But just play. St. John Vianney play their defensive game, and you never know. But unfortunately, I think if every team wanted to be on the other side of the bracket, right?
Well, I mean, I will not discount them at all. They're an extremely well-developed team, but we're not going in, we're not accepting the loss.
Yep.
We are ready to play, and we're going to leave everything on the field, everything we have.
Yeah, and your team never over the years, you're never a team to back down, no matter who you're playing. You'll get right there. You'll bump with them and run. Take it to them, and it'll be a good game. So, but thank you for taking time out today, and good luck Wednesday. Obviously, I'll be there. So, good luck, and then good luck in states.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too.